Gardner-Webb head coach Cris Reisert, the team coming off its open date this week, the North-South Barbecue Bowl. Charleston Southern coming to town. So, Coach, just some thoughts about your squad, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, no, good to come off a bye week, fired up for this week. The Barbecue Bowl means a lot to us as a program, and I think it's a really cool rivalry for Charleston Southern and for Gardner-Webb. And so fired up for the game. It's certainly for us has a little bit more magnitude to it than being our conference opener. And so we're really excited to play week one of the conference and looking to put our best foot forward.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. Jacob is with us. Jacob, go ahead.
Coach, just one quick question about the bye week. Two-pronged. Did you accomplish all you wanted to as far as getting players healthy and all the other things that you wanted to do in the bye week? And secondly, did you get a chance to watch some games, maybe your past opponents, because the people you played went 4-0 this past weekend? How does that help your resume going forward?
Yeah, for us, Jacob, the big thing in the bye was trying to get healthy and then really focusing on us and reflecting on, maybe what we did well in the first 4 weeks and then what we maybe didn't do so well. And so we're able to make some modifications, scheme wise, personnel wise, that I'm excited about going into week 5 for us. And then, yeah, it's been fun to see some of the teams that we've played in the past. I got a chance to watch some of the OU game against Bowling Green and some of the Georgia Tech game. And so it's fun anytime you play against a team and then you get to watch them on TV and see kind of like what other people are doing to attack them. And, we should have thought of that, or, hey, they stole that idea, whatever. It makes it a little bit more fun. And so, certainly it's fun to watch. And does it affect the resume and all that stuff? I'm sure it does at some point, but for us, man, like we're week 1 in the season. And so just trying to make sure we can control our own house first.
Okay. Talk a little bit about Charleston Southern. They look on film and on paper, they look a little bit better than their record because they played Coastal Carolina close, and then they got their first win of the season last week. So just talk a little bit about them and what you're looking for during the game.
Yeah, I think Charleston Southern's a really good football team. I thought they were a really good football team last year. I mean, I think they lost 8-9 games last year by one score, they were in darn near every game last year in our conference with the exception of Martin. This year they've been in darn near every game. I think they're a really good football team. Offensively, I think they've improved from last year. The quarterback's a good player. He's healthy. They've got a back that's a JMU transfer that's a really solid player. Their Roan kid, their receiver, has been a dynamic guy in the conference for a couple of years now. Offensive line wise, they have the 3 kid at right tackle. They've really developed, I think, some great depth in what they're doing there. So, I'm really impressed with them. Defensively, they've always been dynamic as heck. They do a great job schematically to create issues for you. Their linebackers are tackling machines. They force tons of fumbles, and they've got some elite pass rush guys at end. And so I'm really impressed with them. I think it's a really, really big conference matchup for us, and I think it's a tremendous measuring stick to get a gauge on where we're at in conference, and I think it'll give us some insight, here about 4:30 on Saturday with where we stack.
Just a couple more questions. Can you tell that the intensity or the mood has shifted a little bit with your team, knowing that this is conference play starting this week and that the intensity's picked up a little bit?
Yeah, I think our guys are excited to play. You're coming off a bye week, so you come off a bye week where it's like you're starving, right? Now you finally get a chance to get back into it. You're practicing with no kind of reward at the end of the rainbow, and now, right, it's like, all right, we got to have an elite Sunday, and we did that. And so, can we have a great Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to earn our confidence going into Saturday? And I think that's where you're seeing the intensity start to kick up, and then at the end of the day, like you mentioned, Jacob, the ultimate goal for any FCS team is to get into conference play and play really good football and give themselves a chance to win each game. And so I think that our intensity will hopefully ratchet up.
And lastly, talk about Caleb Borders and his role on the team, because it seems to have been increased this season over past years. So just talk about his progression and how he's playing so far this year.
Yeah, no, Caleb's been great. I think he's really presented himself as a wide receiver this year. He played wide out, but he got moved around early in his career, was a running back, and then became a wide out. And so he's got tremendous God-given gifts, right? He can run. He's explosive as heck. He can jump. He's got great ball skills. And I think the overall understanding of playing the position, the feel, those things, he's really grown in a big way. And so he's a guy that we trust implicitly to make a play. You know, whether it's early, late, game on the line, not like he's gonna show up. And I think that's his greatest asset. And we're really excited to have him and excited for his next 8 weeks.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jacob.
Coach, not only does the winner of this game get the trophy, but the barbecue dinner, and you all were the recipient of that last year. I got a couple barbecue questions for you just so we can use for later this week. What's your favorite type of barbecue?
North Carolina.
Okay. Sauce on the barbecue or on the side?
Side.
Side. Best side dish to go with a barbecue dinner?
Hush puppies.
Well, I like that. And then which player in your team do you think can eat the most barbecue?
Let's go with Luke Rector.
Okay. All right. We're going to use these later this week, and it's a great tradition, great trophy. So
Yeah, it's cool.
appreciate your time, and best of luck this week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys. Take care.